Next on NFL Primetime, for 57 minutes, Tom Brady was flummoxed by Rob Ryan's defense, and then Tom did what Tom does. He found a way to get it done. Rex Grossman also found a way to get it done. Get out of the starting lineup. Is it the John Beck era now in Washington? Plus, the two greatest words in the history of the NFL. Coach fight! We've got it. It's on NFL Primetime, and we smack it around.
Welcome to NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
And here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of NFL Primetime. Trey Wingo here with Merrill Hodge and Tim Hasselbeck. How are we doing?
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you.
All right. We'll get to that in just a little bit between the Lions and the 49ers. It was a crazy Week 6, to say the least. It ends tonight with Monday Night Football. And it's a team in the home game, in the home stadium, that really ain't happy. The New York Jets taking on the Miami Dolphins. For the very latest on this, time for a DirecTV team report. We say hello to Susie Colbert. Susie, it was a week where the Jets were pointing fingers at each other. What exactly is going on now?
Yeah, unhappy. You know, that's certainly an understatement. And as the losses mount, so does the internal discord. And it seems like captain and wide receiver Santonio Holmes in the middle of a lot of it. Going back a few weeks now, he criticized Mark Sanchez and the offensive line. Of course, guard Brandon Moore shot back. There were rumors that he went over the head of offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer to Rex Ryan to complain about the game plan. When we talked to Santonio Holmes on Saturday, he unequivocally denied going to Rex Ryan to talk about Schottenheimer. Says that I asked him, you know, who do you go to for problems? And he said, I can talk to Schotty about anything at any time, and I do. The thing that really irked him were Moore's comments, but he doesn't plan to talk to him about it. He said, at this point, it's game time. We should just really put it all behind us. He plans to take out his frustrations on the Dolphins tonight. When I asked him if desperate is the right word to use for the Jets right now, he said probably a little strong, but Trey, certainly must win fits the situation.
Susie, no question, you could also make that same case for the Dolphins, as they're still looking for win number 1 on the season. But let's talk about the Jets, because every year Rex, their head coach, talks about the Jets going to the Super Bowl. Well, they're not going to do that the way they've been playing so far this year, Tim. Offensively, you have players pointing fingers at each other, and they can't do whatever they want to do, including stopping the run. 28th defensively against the rush. What's going on?
Well, and that's been the big disappointment for them. Rex Ryan defenses have been based on stopping the run on early downs and then getting after you in the pass game. But they haven't been able to stop anybody running the football, and that's the thing that jumps out at you when you turn on the tape. And really, Bart Scott's been a big part of the problem. It's a version of Buddy Ryan's Bear 46 defense. There's Bart Scott. He's the contained player right here. The Oakland Raiders going to run an outside run play, and look at the block that Kevin Boss gets on Bart Scott. Absolutely pancakes him, and off to the races for Darren McFadden. Right here, here's the block. He has contained, Bart Scott does. Look at how Kevin Boss absolutely manhandles him right there. And that's not the only time that it shows up. Same football game now. Look at Bart Scott. They're going to run his own play away from him. They're going to win at the point of attack, the Oakland Raiders are. Look at the lack of hustle to the football by Bart Scott, getting passed by defensive linemen running to the football. Can't wait. Can't even show up on tape. And then you look at this here. Bart Scott, again, in the hole, unblocked, because Ray Rice is going to cut it back. Doesn't even make contact with the running back. To me, there's been a lot of talk about this defense. Bart Scott has been leading the charge with Rex Ryan. It is not showing up on tape, and they're showing the rest of the National Football League.
Well, if it's bad trying to stop the run, Merrill, it's even worse with them running the ball. Ground and pound is non-existent. 31st in rushing the ball after being the top team 2 years ago and in the top 5 last year.
Yeah, well, here's what the problem is on both sides of the ball. There's nothing that scares you. There's no threat. When you look at their offense, when you study them, you get prepared for them, they do nothing vertically. They do nothing that would say, listen, we got to worry about that. And then you see what teams are doing against them in 3rd and long situations. All you have to do is watch plays like this. The New England Patriots, you got 3rd and 6. Watch the coverage. The coverage alone tells you everything, folks, what's going on here. Look at how they flood the underneath, and the routes don't go even far enough or deep enough to get your first down. You got 7 defenders there. The route is at 5 yards. You come back to 4. It's 3rd and 6. Now, you go back to the last year's matchup. in New York with the Dolphins did this. They smothered this offense. They played man. They did a lot of things to take away Sanchez's first read, make him hold the football. Cameron Wake gets a one-on-one matchup. Down goes Sanchez. The Dolphins will do this tonight. There has been nothing to this point that would scare you if you're the Miami Dolphins. There's nothing vertical. There is zero. Now, do the Jets need to do something like that tonight? Oh, absolutely. And even if you don't complete it, you got to put it in their minds, listen, we are going to take some shots, and if we complete one of them, it'll change your mindset. But right now, people are hovering on this offense.
Yeah, and what's more discouraging than that offense not pushing the ball down the field vertically is what we've seen from Mark Sanchez in the pocket. And we've seen, quite honestly, a lack of courage at times, and it showed up big time against the Baltimore Ravens, and that's not what you want out of your quarterback. Look at Mark Sanchez here. He's going down in the pocket. And I know he took a bunch of hits in this football game. Well, you put stuff like that on tape, that's who you become as a quarterback. Later in the football game, very good protection from that group up front. Look at this by Mark Sanchez, going down. It's a football team that's struggling right now, and that's a quarterback not standing strong in the pocket, and everybody on that football team is watching.
Well, listen, these two teams are both a mess right now, and whoever loses, they're going to do something they haven't done since 2007. A loss by the Jets will be their first 4-game losing streak since 2007. If the Dolphins lose, it would match their worst start to a season since 2007 when they lost their first 13. So one way or the other, 2007's coming into play tonight on Monday Night Football. When we continue here on NFL Primetime, you know, who doesn't always think that the Lions and 49ers are simply the best, most heated rivalry in the entire NFL, especially when coaches and PR guys get involved. With the Eagles saving their season, the NFC East is a convoluted mess. And is it over for Rex in D.C.? Plus, Tom Brady silenced for so long, but in the end, he did what he does.
NFL Primetime is presented by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go. And in part by Ford, Drive One, and Subway Restaurants. It's Anytober. This October, any footlong is a $5 footlong.
One team at the top, time after time. If you can dream it, you can do it. And some people do more than they dream.
From exotic escapes to spa indulgences to golf getaways, you'll discover your perfect retreat at Starwood Hotels and Resorts' brand new website, spg.com/resorts. Book your dream vacation at one of more than 200 amazing resorts and take advantage of our best rate guarantee. More luxury, more destinations. spg.com/resorts.
Better. There may be some as good, but I don't know that there's anybody better.
He's in the top 3 right now.
How good is he, man?
It's never a bad option to throw it to Calvin Johnson, even if he's covered.
Get on the inside track of Formula One. With live race commentary, expert analysis, statistics, and up-to-the-second news. espnf1.com. Online or download the app now.
It is the new season, and we are set for football. And here we go. He's going to air one out down the middle, and he's caught.
The NFL all season long, live on ESPN America HD.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
And welcome back to NFL Primetime. Trey Wingo here with Merrill Hodge and Tim Hasselbeck. So Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys off their bye, ready and rested, went to Foxborough, trying to do what no one has done in the regular season since November of 2006. Beat Tom Brady at home. Tom, of course, has been on an MVP-like season, but Rob Ryan, the Cowboys defensive coordinator with the greatest hair in the NFL, by the way, also knows a thing or two about shutting him down. It's 3rd and 6 here, and DeMarcus Ware unleashed the beast. One of 2 sacks Ware had on the game. The Patriots would have to settle for a field goal. Now, Tom had that unbelievable run last year into this year where he was throwing no interceptions. That was so last year. Picked off here by Terrence Newman. Rob Ryan's D doing a great job. As for Tony Romo, Tim, this was his first drive after the disaster against Detroit.
Let's look at that Romo meter.
It's not
the Romometer.
Romometer, whatever you feel more comfortable.
The Romo-meter.
It was not good there. Romo would play much better in the second quarter. There's to Dez Bryant, and Dez, well, he's much better in the first half of games, isn't he, Dez?
Oh, really? This entire team's much better in the first half of games.
That might be a problem in a 4-quarter
They need
game.
to work about the second half of game.
That was a 33-yard move, and here's good Romo-meter. Nice play to Witten, who Tim barely gets in.
He barely gets in. It was actually his first catch of the game. He was able to fall into the end zone.
Cowboys only down 13-10 at the half. 4th quarter, we're tied at 13. Patriots threatening, and how good of a player is Sean Lee going to be?
Boy,
Picks off Brady again.
Ton of plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Has a knack for getting to the football and has some nifty moves as well once he catches it.
Second interception of the game. Next Cowboys drive. Romo, hey, this is good to Lauren Robinson, Tim, and look what Robinson does.
Really nice throw outside the numbers, and Lauren Robinson, nice job breaking the tackle and getting up the field.
All right, so Cowboys deep in Patriots territory, but in 1st and goal, they went very conservative on the play calling, so they settled for Team Bailey. Dan Bailey field goal. He's been great. Cowboys up 16-13. The Cowboys then forced a 3-and-out for the Patriots. Only the 8th 3-and-out all year for New England and Tom Brady. So Tony Romo and the Cowboys have a chance to get a couple of first downs and seal this game. And they went handoff, handoff, handoff.
See, I don't mind, running the football. It's the style in which they run with it. They are not built physically up front or on the backside to run. These are the kind of runs they should have ran. More draws, more kind of screens to help them try to get a first down.
Taking the decision-making out of Tony Romo's hands late in the football game.
That's exactly what they did, so that allowed Tom Brady to have the game in his hands, and that's a good place to have it. There you go, Aaron Hernandez for 16 yards. By the way, that's only one of the 2 tight ends they took in last year's draft. Gronk Nation result. Rob for 11 yards, out of bounds at the 47. This drive was Joe Montana-esque. It was surgical, Tim, in the way he found the soft spot in that zone.
Yeah, not in a hurry, plenty of time on the clock. And you look at Tom Brady not pushing the ball down the field, finding the guys underneath and just methodically marching it down the field.
Yeah, then on a 3rd and 1, Brady with a little quarterback sneak to get the first down. There was no sense of hurry. There was no sense of pressure.
Why? Yeah, you have so much time.
And look at Danny Woodhead wide open for 13 yards to the Cowboys' 14, and then with the clock winding down 2 plays later, it was almost as if it was inevitable. Brady to Hernandez for the touchdown to seal the game. Take another look at a very accurate throw as he drives him right down the field for his 32nd comeback victory in the 4th quarter. Patriots beat the Cowboys 20-16. And it was really 2 separate games you saw, Tim, from that Cowboy defense. For 57 minutes, Rob Ryan had Tom Brady and that Patriots offense completely confused. But on that final drive, and including that touchdown pass to Aaron Hernandez, it was a thing of beauty.
It sure was, Trey, but when you look at this a little bit deeper, you realize that Rob Ryan actually had the right calls on, but Tom Brady just did an excellent job executing that 2-minute offense. And so you look at it here, early in the drive, Tom Brady sees what's going on. He's going to end up checking the football down. Dallas Cowboys are rushing 4. Well, look what that does. That creates a huge void for Tom Brady to check it down to Danny Woodhead, and this is a 13-yard gain in a 2-minute drill. So now, what do the Dallas Cowboys decide to do? They want to take away that check down, so they only rush 2. They drop a defensive tackle down into that area where Brady would check it down, but Tom Brady has time in the pocket. He reads the route combination and makes a beautiful throw to Aaron Hernandez, who beats a cornerback on the route. That's what's most impressive about this play, a tight end beating a corner. Merrill, take us a little bit deeper into that route.
All right, Tim, let's delve into this bad boy a little further, my brother. Now, route combinations are critical, but you got to run great routes. And I think that's what the Patriots do so well, and they don't get a lot of credit for it. Now, let's look at the guy who's really in a jam. The deep safety right here, well, he's got to cover a lot of field here. This half, he's got to read both these tight ends routes, depending on what happens. Now, as we snap the ball and we get both routes vertical, look what happens here. Let's go to the safety right away. Look what he sees. When he sees Gronkowski going to the outbreak, well, he jumps it. And he also sees out of the corner of his eye Hernandez. He keeps pushing it vertical, so it looks like everybody's staying this way. Look at Tom Brady. He's already looking this way as well. But the real key is Hernandez pushes the corner to the outside and then breaks over the top at the last second after that safety has already jumped Gronkowski on the out route. That opens up the back of the end zone, so it's a great route combination. And Trey, outstanding route running by some good tight ends.
No question, Merrill, when we continue, the Battle of New York went to the team that got the turnovers. And in the case of the Bills and the Giants, that was a surprising result from the previous couple of weeks. And then there was one, and I'm not talking about the Acme Packers, I'm talking about the Green Bay Packers, the last undefeated, and it was a pretty good first half to put it away.
Welcome to the ESPN Player, your source for college sports. It's all live, all on demand, and all from €9.99 a month. Sign up now.
It's frustrating and it's very disappointing, and it's not something I look forward to.
So it's 19 yards on the right hash for the lead. The snap is bad, and their season's going to end. Unbelievable! Romo can't get the spot down.
He did a good job. We just had a mishandled snap.
It obviously cost us the game.
Romo takes the snap, has time to the end zone, intercepted by the Giants. R.W. McQuarters.
It's my team. It's my quarterback.
He waits, he looks, he fires intercepted. He dives for the goal line. Big Bird touchdown.
You can't turn the ball over that many times and expect to win.
Back goes Romo again. It's fumbled. The Eagles are going to the playoffs, and the Cowboys are going for smelling salt.
I'm disappointed and frustrated, but we will be better.
Romo rolling right, throws right sideline, intercepted.
I'm not trading for nothing. You know, he the best. He the real deal.
The dude can still make plays. 90% of this league can't.
Tony played one of the best games I've ever seen him play.
He's an awfully good football player. We'll see what happens when this is all said and done.
This one is over, and the Atlanta Braves have been eliminated.
He got it. Valverde strikes out Alex Rodriguez. The Tigers are moving on.
The throw to the plate, not in time, and the Brewers advance to the National League Championship Series.
The 2011 MLB World Series starts Wednesday at 1:30 CET, live on ESPN America.
Primetime rolls on with the Eagles and the Redskins. Eagles trying to avoid a 5-game losing streak for the first time
Could it happen?
in many years. The year before they drafted Donovan McNabb was the last time that happened. Brent Selleck said that's not going to happen. Brent Selleck, Michael Vick, and that's a touchdown against the Washington Redskins. Keep in mind, Redskins came in with only 2 teams giving up fewer points per game than them and then Brent Selleck. Are you freaking kidding me?
That's the way
It'd be nice to use this guy. Here's a Pro Bowl tight end making an outstanding play on the football. Great concentration.
Well played, Brent Selleck. Well played. As for LaShawn McCoy, maybe the best, you hate to say this because of what Brian Westbrook was able to do those years, maybe the best all-around back they've ever had there, man.
Well, he fits the scheme beautifully. I thought Andy Reid, Marty Morningwig, the offensive coordinator, did a great job of designing the type of runs that fit his skill set, perimeter type runs.
Like that one on 3rd and goal and make it 14-0. And as for Rex Grossman, one word, oi. That one's picked up by Kurt Coleman, who actually ended up being Rex Grossman's best receiver on this day. Later in the first, Nnamdi Asomugha getting physical with Chris Cooley.
Wow, where's that been?
Cooley would not return after injuring his hand. It's now 17-0 the Eagles. It's like 2010 when they went in there and dominated. Look at that play. And that one's picked up by Nate Allen. That's the second pick. Trust me, we're not done. 3rd quarter, Eagles up 20-6, and then Michael Vick scrambling, running around, and gets past the 20, but he remains down on the ground after the play. Vick hit by LaRon Landry there. That's a big hit, so Vince Young warming up. They try and clean off the visor for Vic on the sidelines. And here comes Vince Young. And on 3rd and 11, here's his first throw, Tim.
Yeah, and it's not good, Trey. He got a little pressure, doesn't see the hot, ends up escaping out of the pocket and throws to D'Angelo Hall with no Eagles receiver anywhere in the picture.
All right, so that's the pick that leads to Rex Grossman deep in Philadelphia territory, and Rex apparently felt bad for Vince Young. There's that man again. It's Kurt Coleman, the second pick of the day for him. 3rd interception for Grossman. So Vic back in at 3rd and 10. And look, this is the one thing Mike Vick can do that nobody else can do.
He is must-see TV because he's going to do something you've never seen on a football field. There's no question.
The Eagles would fail to score on that drive, so the Redskins are still in this game. And Grossman, who did I say was his favorite receiver?
Kurt Coleman.
That is correct. Once, twice, 3 times the interceptor. Another one, 4 picks on the day. John Beck came in. Eagles end the streak. They win it 20-13. The Battle of New York, West versus East. Buffalo at MetLife taking on the Giants. First quarter, Bills down 7-0. When all else fails, give it to the pride of Coe College. And the pride of Coe College is gone. Fred Jackson, 80 yards for the score, ties the game up at 7. It is Buffalo's longest rush of the season. Later in the first quarter, it's 3rd and 6. Fitzpatrick to Neiman Roosevelt. Neiman Roosevelt, a Buffalo native, and Roosevelt is gone. We've got an 80-yard play and a 60-yard touchdown. It's 14-7. That's the Bills' longest pass of the season. Move to the second quarter. Giants down 14-10. Eli Manning looking for Akeem Nicks. And they have their own 60-yard reception. What a throw and what a run after the catch, Tim.
Nice job of Eli moving the safety to hold him, and then an excellent throw to Hakeem Nicks, giving him an opportunity to run after he catches the football.
And a factor back Maryland, Ahmad Bradshaw. That was a touchdown.
Yeah, and Ahmad Bradshaw ran bigger than he has the last couple of weeks.
26 carries, 104 yards, and 3 one-yard scores. As for Stevie Johnson versus Corey Webster, Corey Webster gets the advantage there and returns it 25 yards to the Buffalo 48-yard line.
Yeah, you look at this one here. Stevie Johnson actually has him beat, but good adjustment, way to find the football by Corey Webster.
All right, so that's round 1 to Webster. Here's round 2 to Stevie Johnson. Beats him off the line.
Quickness, separation, beautiful.
Now that tied the game at 24. 2nd and 6 now from the Giants' 9. Fitzpatrick. Oh, this one is picked off.
Yeah, another slightly underthrown ball, and Corey Webster, an excellent job again, similar to the first interception, of finding the football.
All right, so now he's got the advantage. And now Eli, once again, looking for Akeem Nicks. They call pass interference there. Right call, right?
Absolutely. Got to turn and at least play the ball. Can't play the receiver and push him like that.
All right, so 2 plays later, 3rd and goal from the 5. Manning incomplete. Leotis McKelvin almost gets the pick they needed. A 23-yard field goal made it 27-24. Final drive. Fitzpatrick looking for Neiman Roosevelt. Antro roll in the coverage. No, so it comes down to this. 4th and 5. And you know, the Giants have had so many injuries. They had so many things going on in the offseason. Jason Pierre-Paul blocks it down at the line of scrimmage, and the Giants hang on to win 27-24. The Giants in first place in the NFC East. And, you know, Merrill, the Buffalo Bills have been getting turnovers in bunches. They didn't get those turnovers in this game. They caused those turnovers, and they turned the ball over, and that was really the difference here.
Yeah, you know, the Bills are still a very good football team. But they have a slight margin for error. They don't have a world beater on either side of the ball, a difference maker and a playmaker across the board. They don't have that. They have a very good football team. And when their opportunities present themselves, you know, in this game, I look at Fitzpatrick, had a couple throws that if the ball is placed differently, like it was against the New England Patriots, there's a good chance for the Buffalo Bills to win. Here's what I'm talking about. Look at this ball flight. The target should be on the outside with the safety, a single high safety. You've got the corner in a trail position. You got to lead your wide receiver. Finish on the outside. Exact same scenario against the Giants, but look where the ball flight is. It's not to the target on the outside, leading the wide receiver as he got the DB in a trail position. He hangs the ball to the inside. There's the difference in your ball game. You know, if you took a select few plays, Fitzpatrick's accuracy or lack thereof against the Giants is one of the big reasons they lost. They just do not have a lot of room for error. Those kind of opportunities, Fitzpatrick has to hit them every time. If they fail to do that and they don't get the turnovers, it's going to be hard for the Bills to win.
Yeah, they came into this game leading the NFL interceptions with 12, back-to-back 4 interception games. They didn't get one. Both teams, though, now 4-2, and both teams now head into their bye week. When we continue on NFL Primetime, who knew that perhaps the most interesting thing about the Lions-Niners game would have happened after the game was over. The heated debate between Jim Harbaugh and Jim Schwartz, and it was a coaches down in the game between the Bucs and the Saints. We've got that ahead. Stay with us.
Monday Night Football live on ESPN America. In Week 6, AFC North rivals go head-to-head in the Meadowlands. After a much-needed bye week, the down-and-out Dolphins touch down in New York to take on their old nemesis.
Flying down the field.
With Chad Henne out, can the Finns rally to save their season? Or will Sanchez and the Jets return to form in the Monday Night Spotlight? It all starts tonight at 0100 CET with Monday Night Countdown. Monday Night Football live on ESPN America, home of the NFL.
Last time I told you guys that, you forgot to remember. Remember?
They're tackling our guys on pass protection. Give me a number.
What the hell's that? Tell him to throw up on his own time. You better think about that, because you can't play if you don't do what I tell you. You're going to be tired of me. Oh, you're going to be tired of me.
Says here that New England's pretty good. Any questions?
It's a tough rivalry, and you better bring your A game to play the Patriots.
Every game has some type of implication.
Two tough organizations.
They can embarrass you.
It's always trash talking.
A lot of talk about Tom Brady.
It's always a great rivalry because he's such a tremendous talent. They're not afraid to rub it in your face.
Our coaches might not like each other.
Well, I'm not looking forward to, going against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, because they clearly are the best team in football is what it looks like. What everybody says, all the experts say, except me.
That divisional game last year.
Finally, we took something from them that was important. We got their attention.
It's always going to be that rivalry.
Gentlemen, this is a new season, and for your sake, you should be thankful. Fowler, Corso, Herb Street.
They're calling you out.
It's like days of our lives.
Who cares that they lost to Washington?
Watch out. Some of those thoughts and opinions last year wouldn't cut it in my camp. You can do better than that, boys. This is time for some revenge. My picks would run circles around you.
I'm going to go with Cal. Huck 'em hard. I like the Cornhuskers.
Roll Tide.
I'm going to go with Wisconsin.
Southern California.
Oh, look at the love.
What were you thinking? Oh.
Welcome back to the Meadowlands. I'm Susie Kalber with this team report. As the Dolphins prepare to face the Jets tonight, wide receiver Brandon Marshall continues to make headlines with comments like, "I promised to play like a monster and my goal was to get kicked out in the second quarter." Last night we asked him why he said those things. He responded, "Maybe for myself and the team. Maybe if they see me get aggressive, I may get a guy or two to follow. The best leaders lead by example, and we need to play with more passion and emotion." He compared his plan to a manager getting tossed in baseball to fire up his team. Head coach Tony Sparano told us he did sit down with Marshall for a little conversation. They both understand they need him out there.
Fires, ends up.
He's going all the way. 93 yards.
Slap, grab, handshake. Fired me up a lot.
Here we go. Goodbye. He's coming back. Touchdown. Raiders.
All right, primetime rolls on Niners and Lions. Last year, these two were 1-9 in this season. This year, they came in 9-1, and they have two fiery head coaches. Jim Schwartz trying to go to 6-0 for the first time since '56. They were up 3-0 when Matthew Stafford to Brandon Pettigrew, and that's a touchdown. Ruled a touchdown, the play would be reviewed. Tim, did they get the call right here?
They did get the call right. Brandon Pettigrew goes down to the ground with the football. He's got possession of the football. It's only after he's down that then Patrick Willis rips it out of his hands.
Okay, so the ruling on the field stands. Here's the problem. Jim Harbaugh challenged it. You can't challenge it because it's a scoring play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Lions up 10-0, and Jim Schwartz said,
Learn the rules.
We'll get back to that. As for Frank Gore, same score, 1 minute left in the first quarter, and Frank Gore was in full-on attack mode, Merrill.
Boy, they did a great job of attacking those defensive line tackles. Let them get upfield, trap them, wham them, and let little Gore roll.
Yeah, here's exactly what you were talking about with your seal of approval.
Watch the defensive tackles get upfield. The guard, tackle, they release right away, get on the linebackers. You get a seal here and a seal there, and you are in the alley, brother.
Gore would later punch it in, so it's a 10-7 Lions lead. How about Aldon Smith, the rookie out of Mizzou? And that's just great work there. It's called a safety. It should have been a penalty for intentional grounding. Either way, that would have been a safety in the end zone anyway. So the score was right. They just went around it the wrong way. And then Smith hit Stafford from behind, causes the fumble. He had 2 sacks on the day. As for Nate Burleson, late third quarter, it is the fabled 15-13 lead. Burleson for a gain of 14 yards. Now they swap ends because they go to the fourth quarter here. And if you're Calvin Johnson, this play's got to drive you crazy. It's Nate Burleson back in the end zone. It's a touchdown, but wait, he dropped the ball. They originally said incomplete. And then, of course, they said, no, he had it long enough, and it really is a touchdown. So they got it right, but Calvin Johnson's going, where was this last year in Chicago?
I agree. They get it right. The rule stinks is really what happens. The rule stinks, but that's a touchdown catch by Nate Burleson.
Any way you look at it. By the way, so was Calvin Johnson's last year.
No doubt.
They missed the 2-point conversion. It's 19-15. On the return, Ted Ginn Jr. stays on his feet and puts them in Lions territory. So later on this drive, it is 1st and goal, and Frank Gore, bam, stopped in the backfield by Corey Williams for a 3-yard loss. So now it's 2nd and goal. Alex Smith looking for Michael Crabtree, but Michael Crabtree is going nowhere after the gain of 4. So here it's 3rd and goal. Smith, no, not enough on it, and Jim Harbaugh's getting frustrated. Dang it, Jim Schwartz was frustrated earlier. They go for it on 4th and goal. Delaney Walker in for the 6-yard score. They reviewed that one too to see if his knee was down. The Niners up 22-19. So 6 seconds left. Lions down 25-19 on 4th and 10. Has this ever worked since Tony Nathan pulled it off in a playoff game, the hook and ladder?
Not that I can remember.
I can't remember it either.
You at least got to get the pitch for how to have a
That's
shot at it.
part of the problem. Now, here's what everybody's talking about. Yeah, good win.
That's right. Get out of here. Who cares?
Woo! Yeah.
Don't you ever do that.
Like, are you kidding me? So he goes, wait a minute. What did you just do, pal? And a little bump, and then you see, and here's Bob Lang. Bob Lang playing the hero, PR guy for the same. PR guy for the 49ers. And Jim Schwartz, no, give me a piece of Harbaugh. I want to get in there and talk to this guy. And Harbaugh's like, I'm just going. I'm going. Niners went on to win 25-19. So clearly these two coaches had some issues with each other. And Jim Harbaugh, to his credit, afterwards said, it was my fault. I shook his hand too aggressively and slapped him on the back. And Jim Schwartz said, I'll just leave it at that. I was called an expletive and I was shoved in the back. Who's to blame, in your opinion, for coaches gone wild?
Well, listen, the emotion of the game. I mean, you could defend either guy, but who started it? You know, when Jim Harbaugh comes across and he shakes your hand like that, and really the handshake and the slap on the back and the push, really I don't think was the issue. Maybe it started it. It's when Schwartz said something back to him and then Harbaugh gave him a little pontification that set it off.
That we can't use.
Yeah, but we're assuming that it happened at the point of the handshake, when Jim Schwartz all year long has been doing plenty of fist pumping, plenty of yelling at people from the sideline.
Whoa. Not when you get over there during the game.
Time out. Hold on a second. My time here.
There's no buzzer. Hold on.
And yelling at him when he's yelling about learning the rules when Jim Harbaugh challenged that call and got the personal foul penalty. There certainly was some yelling from Jim Schwartz from his sideline over to Jim Harbaugh. Listen.
Right. So you think blame goes on both sides?
There's no doubt.
Anytime something like this gets to this point, yeah, both guys have to be accountable for being professionals.
Although it's interesting because Jim Harbaugh's been down this road in college before, going up and getting a 2-point conversion when he was beating USC late. Pete Carroll met him at midfield and said, what's your deal, when that was over. So some of that's following Harbaugh into the pro game from the college game. So let's put the coach fight aside, as great as it was, for a second. What impressed you the most about what you saw at San Francisco?
Well, listen, the 49ers defense is outstanding.
They're nasty.
You know what? And they can run the football as good as anybody in the game. But when I look at both these teams, I look at Detroit and San Francisco, if they could mesh their offenses together, they'd have the offense that they need to win a championship. You know, Detroit has a passing game that is very dangerous. They do not have a running game that's going to be consistent enough to finish teams and things. And San Francisco's way too inconsistent in their passing game, but they have a great running game. You know, those are the things they're lacking in order to take it to the next level as far as winning a championship.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And their defense, and you've been calling it, their defense has been outstanding. When you look at that group up front, that offensive line for the San Francisco 49ers. That's probably what impressed me the most. You go into an environment where it's extremely loud. It's going to be difficult to throw the football when you're in that stadium with that type of crowd noise, with those edge rushers and interior pass rushers. I thought they weathered the storm. They had a couple of early false starts, and then they settled down, and then they ran the football. They really got after them, and that's why Frank Gore had so much success. So to me, when you're going to go play the Detroit Lions, you've got to take that pass rush out of the game by being able to run the football, controlling the line of scrimmage. And Anthony Davis and those boys up front did just that for Frank Gore and Kendall Hunter. So a tremendous job of that group dominating the front of the Detroit Lions on the road to take them out of the game.
Especially when they were down 10-0 early. It could have been very easy for them to fall apart at this point.
And this has happened a couple times for San Francisco. This is when you hear the cliche, you know, 60 minutes and it's never over till it's over.
Keep playing.
The Philadelphia Eagle game is a great example. You know, now Detroit game is a great example. When you get into tight ball games, and I may even be fast forwarding a little bit here to the playoffs, that is when you need that trust and that belief that you've done it before.
Well, and
to win in the playoffs.
And I think both of these teams have trust in their coaches for the way they responded to that fight. I'm sure the Lions are like, yeah, Jim, don't take any of that stuff from him. And you saw Anthony Davis, they're sort of smiling when Jim Schwartz went to Jim Harbaugh to try and have his back. Niners have a bye, Lions home for the Falcons. As we go inside the numbers, over the last few weeks, the 49ers have made it a point to make Merrill happy and establish the run game. And it's
They didn't get that memo, did they?
They did. Rushing for at least 160 yards in their last three. Obviously, a big part of that is Frank Gore, who has 3 straight 100-yard games on nearly 8 yards per carry. Lots more coming here on NFL Primetime. When we continue, there's only one undefeated team left, and it's the only team who finished their season the way they wanted it to last year, with a win in the Super Bowl. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's a new sensation this year. It's a winning streak. We've got that for you.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa. More people go with Visa.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. Magnifique. I'm thinking the bikini. Just stop talking.
What are these players thinking? You didn't call that.
But you know what we do have?
Pardon the interruption. Weekdays on ESPN America.
On third down, they floated for Bryant. What a throw. What a catch. Touchdown. Romo throws and completes for the touchdown. Wide open back of the end zone, Witten, and they make it look easy all day. Romo throws, and he's picked off by Bobby Carpenter. The former Dallas Cowboy, Bobby Carpenter, is a fumble into the end zone, and it's recovered for a touchdown by Eric Wright. Out of the shotgun pass is intercepted. Houston down the sideline, and Houston has just turned in another defensive score. On first down all day for Stafford, who goes to the end zone. Jump ball, touchdown. Megatron is in for the touchdown. Calvin Johnson. A throw, and over the middle, this one is picked off. Intercepted by Tulloch. Who would have thought this game could come down to this play? They lob it. Calvin Johnson with a touchdown. This one puts Detroit on top, and Jim Schwartz and the Lions celebrate a 4-0 start.
You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
Primetime rolls on with the Saints in Tampa taking on the Bucs. This was a very rough game for coaches as well as players. Seriously, Sean Payton there. First quarter, here's the scary moment as tight end Jimmy Graham rolls into that left leg. He tore his MCL, fractured his tibia, which is a kneecap area. He actually had surgery this morning. We wish him the best of luck. He stayed in the game for the while and tried to call plays from the sidelines. And then, of course, later in the game, the Bucs' Jimmy Lake actually tore up a patella tendon celebrating an interception. As for Drew Brees, here's that interception. Tenard Jackson picks him off. The Bucs take over in Saints territory. So we got 2 coaches down in this game. On the Bucs drive after that pick, Josh Freeman to Preston Parker for 19 yards and a touchdown, and the Bucs are rolling up 20-7. Keep in mind they had been smacked around by the Niners 48-3 the previous week. Fourth quarter, Saints' final drive. They're now by 6. Well, we've seen Drew Brees do this time and time again, like last week against the Panthers. To Robert Meacham for a gain of 23, and that is a first down. Later in the drive, 2nd and 10. Boy, here's a great play by the safety, Tim. Otherwise, Darren Sproles could go here.
Yeah, and Darren Sproles been so good in the screen game, but you see they're forcing him out of bounds right there, making a tough decision for the Saints.
All right, so offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael talking to Drew Brees on 3rd and 5. Drew Brees, well, he gets 3 of them back, so it's 4th down. They went for it here. You like the call with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning?
To be honest with you, I question a little bit, you know, in hindsight 2020, because you don't end up stopping them. But right here, you have Robert Meacham open. Drew Brees is never able to find his way back to him.
Yeah, Desmond Briscoe, or excuse me, there's the interception, and there you see Meacham just wide open, picked off by Quincy Black. But another 383-yard performance for Brees, and here was the killer. 3rd and 9. Desmond Briscoe there for 17 yards and a first down on the very next play. Ernest Graham, remember no LeGarrette Blount. He ran for over 100 yards in this game. This Ernest Graham did. And the Bucs, big bounce back win for them. 26-20. They're both 4-2. Rams, Packers. You could also call this game the haves versus the have-nots. And in the first half, wearing those throwback Acme Packer uniforms. Does it get any better than the Acme Packers? I don't know about that, but it doesn't get any better than what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now. Look at this play fake. Got a day and a half to throw, and James Jones is there for the touchdown. Tim, this is what every quarterback wants.
Oh, listen, you're right. Off of the play fake, look at the way it moves the defense and the underneath coverage. With Aaron Rodgers back here with all times, and honestly, does anybody make it look easier than whoop, the little flip of the wrist there to James Jones in the end zone?
Put the Packers up 10-0. Later in the second, same score. They're pinned deep at their own 7-yard line, and there goes Jordy Nelson, and there he's gone. It's a 93-yard play. You know who's not impressed? Tom Brady and Wes Welker. Hey, call me when you get into the 99-yard club, guys. 17-0. Then Rodgers to the ageless wonder, Donald Driver, 24-0. Rodgers 310 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Then A.J. Hawk, a moment he probably is regretting now, and he's said so since. He sacks Sam Bradford. By the way, he's walking around with a walking boot on his leg right now, and then points to the sidelines and gives them the "we're number one." He said it's a running joke with his teammates. It wasn't meant for people to see. So, of course, he did it on a game which is televised across the country.
And in a stadium full of people.
Right after you sack somebody.
Other than that, there would have been no cameras on him. Sam Shields here actually hurt himself trying to run around in the end zone.
What you doing
just
there?
Fall down. Just fall down. All right, so Clay Matthews, he of the other hair brethren with A.J. Hawk, he also gets Bradford. He chose not to celebrate with a finger to the sidelines. Packers win 24-3, the only unbeaten team in the NFL. Jaguars and Steelers, Ben and company trying to win 2 straight for the first time this season. Rashard Mendenhall back. Rashard Mendenhall paying dividends. Merrill, that's a touchdown.
Well, the one thing, he is so laterally and vertically explosive with tremendous power.
Second quarter, it's still 7-0 Pittsburgh. Mike Wallace, for the 5th straight game, had 1 catch of at least 40 yards. That hadn't happened since T.O. did it in 2004. And there's a 28-yard strike. 14-0 Pittsburgh. What were you saying about Rashard Mendenhall?
He's laterally and vertically explosive with just a sprinkling of power in there.
Other than that, he's not doing much. 23 rushes, 146 yards. That led to a field goal, 17-0 Steelers, and Troy Polamalu was at his best for a while in this game. Tim, what is he doing here that makes it impossible to find him?
Listen, he's jumping the snap count. Blaine Gabbert's got to switch it up a little bit. You see Troy so good around the line of scrimmage, and watch his get off and watch how quickly he gets into the backfield because the snap count's not being changed.
Yeah, Najee Kareem there, tackled for the loss, and Polamalu on the other side comes in and takes down Maurice Jones-Drew. Now, you saw him sort of go in head first. There was a little shaking on the play, and then Ryan Clark headbutts him afterwards.
Let's finish it off here, right?
I mean, that's probably, obviously they're celebrating. Their teammates are both safeties, but that wasn't what he needed at the moment.
No.
It was called a head injury. He would
And there's
stay on the
Dr. Maroon to
sidelines.
take care of him.
Steelers would hang on to win and literally hang on 17-13. Meanwhile, The Ravens, as we continue on NFL Primetime, rested at home, which is a bad thing for the Houston Texans. There's Andre Johnson not being able to play because of the hamstring injury. Texans down 13-7. Matt Schaub, play action, and look at him stand against the pressure, Tim.
That's exactly what he does. He comes off of the play fake. He's got pressure in his face, steps up, and makes a great throw down the field to Jacoby Jones.
32 yards and a touchdown. Texans up 14-13. You want to talk about standing tall in the pocket and making a throw? Joe Flacco, nobody around him. Torrey Smith is becoming a player.
Well, I will tell you this, the one thing that this team lacked was some vertical explosiveness. They have got it going on right now.
They thought they had that with Lee Evans. And here's the prime Tim dime. That one led to a field goal.
That's right, because here's the deal. The E's silent. You see it fall off there. Watch Joe Flacco here. Joe Flacco standing in pressure. Antonio Smith's going to hit him. And Joe Flacco drops this thing right down the chimney. Look at the way this ball comes down to Anquan Boldin. Cannot be thrown any better than that by Joe Flacco. That is the prime time dime. Again, Trey, E is silent.
As Trent Dilfer might say, there is no defense for a perfect throw. 8 catches, 130 yards.
Can we leave him out of this segment for once?
Trent Dilfer. Fourth quarter, Ray Rice rushing up the middle, bounces off tackle, and finally runs out of bounds at the 4-yard line. 23 carries, 101 yards for him. And on the very next play, Ricky Williams gets in for the 4-yard score. John Harbaugh is fired up, but he kept it to himself as the Texans fall again on the road. Ravens win big, 29-14. When we continue here on NFL Primetime, Cam Newton continuing to play well, but the Carolina Panthers continuing to struggle in terms of racking up victories. Speaking of struggling, it's been a rough start for Donovan McNabb. Is that start about to come to an end in Minnesota? That's ahead on NFL Primetime.
I'm Max Bredoff. Coming up tonight on SportsCenter, a sad day in sports as IndyCar suffers its first fatality since 2006. Dan Weldon, who earlier this year won his second Indianapolis 500, died Sunday in a lap 11 crash at the IndyCar season finale at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll have complete coverage from our crew in Vegas, plus Jeremy Schaap looks back at the life and death of one of IndyCar's most loved drivers.
Quick snap, Gronkowski on 3rd and 12. It's wide open. It's the first catch. A.J. Green on a 41-yard touchdown, beating Hayden. And for Green, that is his first NFL reception, and it's good for 6. Holy Toledo.
Stunning play by the Bengals. You have a veteran quarterback in for A.J. Dalton. Joe Hayden doesn't get out on the perimeter by the time they snap the ball, and A.J. Green takes off for the end zone, and Bruce Gronkowski finds him for a touchdown. See it right there? Yeah. He doesn't get there. Quick snap.
The defense wasn't set.
But the offense was.
It was.
And they don't have to wait for you if you're on defense.
Absolutely.
Biggest advice for rookie quarterbacks is to prepare well. You need confidence to play in this league, and I think as a rookie, that's one way to find it.
If you're a starting quarterback, it doesn't matter if you're a #1 pick or an undrafted free agent. If you're playing in the NFL, there's great pressure and expectations.
Study your butt off and take the game as it comes. Eat the elephant one bite at a time, man. It's a lot.
He struck him out. The Giants have won the World Series.
Brian Wilson, we'll go with out there.
I feel like I want to rage right now.
The act off the field is kind of funny at times.
It's an Irish gig lady dancing. I haven't met her yet, but she's in this quadrant.
And then when he gets on the field, he's one of the best competitors in the game. You feel good when he comes out on the mound. He is definitely the closer personality.
I'm getting the beard off the mic there.
Baseball tonight, all season on ESPN America.
Welcome back to Primetime. I'm Susie Colbert at the Meadowlands with this team report. The Jets defense, looking like a shell of its former self, seriously needs to show up against the Dolphins tonight. Talking to Jets players, you hear words like inconsistent and lack of execution. When I asked defensive coordinator Mike Pettin to define their mistakes, he said that although their standards are very high, most disturbing is the confusion on calls that aren't new but day one installation issues. Information that is taught needs to be applied on the field. Situational awareness. Their secret weapon tonight, third-string quarterback Kevin O'Connell, who used to play for the Dolphins, on loan to the defense this week to help game plan.
Primetime continues with Cam Newton all smiles, taking on the Falcons in the Georgia Dome. Third quarter, Panthers down 14-10, and Cam can do this. He's got a few of these this year. There's only one rushing touchdown that the Panthers have that isn't the property of Cam Newton. Panthers up 17-14. However, this is where Cam struggles. Corey Peters pulling his best Vince Wilfork impression. Very impressive with the interception.
In those screens you can get so full, but that's where you got to see where you're throwing the football.
All right, and then there's Michael Turner. You know, the Falcons have not really been able to brand themselves on offense. They made a concerted effort late in this game, Merrill, to brand it with number 33 and those big legs.
And rightfully so, and look how it changed the whole demeanor of this entire team.
Yeah, it worked. They kept going to it, and they kept going to it. And hands off to Michael Turner here. And
it really, Trey, just really quick, this fits what their offensive line's about.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
That's
so
what they're supposed to be. Now, they've had some injuries, and then it pays off right
part
here.
of it.
Get in there. Turner, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Falcons win 31-17. All right, Vikings and the Bears and Lovie Smith and company at home at New Soldier Field. And, well, you know, I don't know why anyone ever kicks to Devin Hester anymore. And I don't know why they don't throw to him more at this point, because Jay Cutler had some time. What a throw.
This is an unbelievable throw.
It's an
Jay Cutler
unbelievable
off of the play fake. I mean, flat foot and is able to throw that ball out there for Devin Hester to run underneath it. Unreal.
48-yard touchdown. Okay, so
you were saying?
Don't kick to Devin Hester unless you really are a big Devin Hester fan. Devin Hester is gone. By the way, this is his 17th career return touchdown, 98 yards away. Returns kicks, punts, interceptions, fumbles, and it looked like he had a tackle.
They should return every single one of their kicks.
Agreed.
They should never, listen, wide receiver second, returner first.
225 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. Donovan McNabb had none of that. He's sacked in the end zone for his safety, so it's 9-0 Bears. Donovan struggled all season, and he struggled Sunday night. His mom was actually in the stands, and at one point she had seen enough. She got up and left. They actually had footage of her leaving. On to throws Visante Shanko here. Same drive now, 3rd and 7, looking for Bernard Berrien. Looks like his arm may have been hit there, but it's short of a first down, forced to punt. It's now 36-10, and this was just a sign of the game. Julius Peppers, I'm just going to push you. That's all it took. And Julius supposedly have a bad knee. Played pretty well for a bad knee.
But I'll tell you this, Julius Peppers is a big dude, though. There are not too many people that aren't just going to fall over.
Go down. Go down. So here comes Christian Ponder, perhaps a surprise first-round pick at quarterback. And he made some plays, Tim.
He did make a couple plays. Nice throw here. Looked a little bit frazzled at times, but to be expected for a rookie getting his first live game action.
Yeah. Later on the drive, it's 4th and 10. Ponder to Visante Shanko, 1 yard short. So he was 9 of 17 for 99 yards in the Bears that won at 39-10. Is it time to go to Christian Ponder?
Yeah, absolutely. It's time to go to Christian Ponder. Minnesota Vikings are not winning. They're not getting good play out of their veteran quarterback. They've got a young guy they've invested a lot in terms of a high-round pick that, quite honestly, could do the same things that Donovan's been doing, and that's been making mistakes and turning the football over.
And learn in the process.
Exactly.
I think you think of two things, upside and future, and who fits that bill. It's not Donovan McNabb. His future, he's been great. That's on the down cycle. Ponder's is on the upswing. That you need to start him now. And based on where your team is, I don't think there's any question.
Well, if it is the case, he's going to a tough one. Their next game is against the Green Bay Packers. Go get him, kid. As we continue here on NFL Primetime, taking a look
against
at
the best, baby.
And the Raiders' first home game since the passing of Al Davis, obviously on the minds of everybody at the Black Hole. Later in the second, 3rd and 8 for Oakland, Jason Campbell, who played pretty well this year, runs for the first down, but you see, whenever anybody lands on that right shoulder, dives on all the weights on that right shoulder, broken collarbone. Now, he says he can come back in about 6 weeks. He's replaced by Kyle Bowler. We'll see what the team has to say. As for special teams, Jacoby Ford is really good and really fast, and he's pretty much Devin Hester Jr. at this point. Look at him I think 4 Browns thought they had the angle on him there, right, Tim?
Yeah, unbelievable speed by Jacoby before he gets out of the open field. You also have to have some courage to jump into that black hole as well.
Oh, wait a minute.
Better be a Raider.
Then it's a fake on the field goal. Shane Leckler to Kevin Boss for the touchdown. Raiders hung on to win 24-17. As for teams that are down on their luck.
Oh, we're shifting this.
We are Colts, Bengals. Andy Dalton playing very well and getting better every week. First quarter, there is no score. Dalton, how about AJ Green?
Why not?
Point of attack.
This guy has been so good. We need to start talking about him more. He's been one of the best receivers in the NFL this year, not just for a rookie.
My fantasy team agrees with you. His 4th touchdown reception of the year. Jerome Simpson for 32 yards. He had 6 grabs for 101 yards. Bengals go up 17-7. You know, the guy who's been lost without Peyton Manning has been Dallas Clark. He's just been a non-factor until Sunday. Nice catch there down the sidelines for 17 yards. You know, we saw him do this a couple years ago in Baltimore for a touchdown from Peyton Manning, and Curtis Painter does it too. That's a great catch.
Boy, they need more of that. But you could argue this whole team's been lost without Peyton Manning, not just Dallas Clark.
Well, that's why they're still looking for win number 1. Okay, 2:36 to play. It's 20-17. Pierre Garçon, who's been a good connection for Curtis Painter, but the ball goes right to Carlos Dunlap, and he breaks a few tackles. That number 1 defense seals the win for Cincinnati, 27-17. When primetime returns, hardwood. Don't punch the coach. Let other coaches punch the coach. We'll find out who the primetime performers are.
NFL Primetime is presented by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
In rugby, you can guarantee there'll be blood, sweat, but no tears. And now you can also guarantee there's one website that's in the thick of it with big stories, highlights, news and views. ESPNScrum.com. Total rugby guaranteed.
He is so good. He's just a great player.
Yeah.
He's just a great player.
Here's the snap to Rodgers. Under a blitz, throws the left side of the end zone. A beautiful strike from Aaron Rodgers. Touchdown!
In 2010, Jacksonville's Maurice Jones-Drew embodied toughness. He ran for over 1,300 yards for the 2nd consecutive season, despite playing with a torn meniscus in his knee. Jones-Drew recorded 6 straight games with 100-plus rushing yards, the 2nd longest streak in Jaguars history. With a healthy knee in 2011, MJD should help the Jaguars make a run for the playoffs.
Season, and we are set for football.
And here we go.
He's going to air one out down the middle, and he's caught.
The
Touchdown!
NFL all season long, live on ESPN America.
Hungry is brought to you by Snickers, who reminds you to play hungry, but not literally hungry. And watch the film The Man Who Played Literally Hungry at NFL.com/Snickers.
Snickers, who's hungry? Who wanted it the most? Sunday, Week 6. Merrill?
Andy Reid's hungry and Marty Morningwig, and they're going to split the Snickers candy bar in half because neither one of them need a full one. But way they called the game, 38 rushes, 31 passes, and getting the ball to the playmaker.
Thanks, Merrill. What about yours, Tim?
Listen, I'll take the 49ers offensive line responding to a hostile environment on the road in Detroit and running the heck out of the football against that Detroit Lions defense that's been so good all year long.
Right game, wrong person. Bob Lang, the PR guy for the San Francisco 49ers. Whoa, whoa, whoa. If Bob Lang was not there to do his job, who knows what would have happened between Jim Schwartz, and Jim Harbaugh. Kudos to Bob Lang. In PR, it's all about perception. Peacemaker, Bob Lang. He gets the job. Who gets the job done tonight?
No, I'm going to say the New York Jets. I mean, we've already talked about how their offense is very condensed. I believe you see shots down the field. Do they complete them? I don't know, but I think that will open up their offense a little bit, at least if they threaten it.
You know, I think the Miami Dolphins win this football game. Rex Ryan's 1-3 against the against the Miami Dolphins since he's been the head coach, and he's taken better teams to play the Miami Dolphins in the past. I think the Dolphins win this game.
Even with Matt Moore in their quarterback.
I understand. Look, I'm stepping out on a limb, not going with the obvious choice like Merrill. Listen, I think
the Jets are just juggernauts right
now. Hey, listen.
Okay, whatever.
Settle down. We'll get Bob Lang to separate you guys. Bob Lang's coming in.
Where's Bob Lang?
We run out of the tunnel with the top 3 stories on College Football Live. First.